Have you ever noticed how some words, even when they're short and ordinary, can feel like they carry the whole world inside them? They don't need fancy language or complicated explanations. They don't even need to be repeated over and over. They just slip out, almost without effort, and suddenly they change the way someone feels. Johnny Depp once gave us an example of that. He said something so simple it almost felt like it didn't belong to the world of celebrities, fame, or grand romantic gestures. He said, "You fill me with happiness." That's it. 5 words. But those words landed like poetry, even though they were plain and clear. Fans all over the world held on to them. People replayed them in their minds. And it wasn't because of how extravagant the phrase was, it was because of the honesty that lived inside it. Think about your own life. Has anyone ever said something to you that seemed so small at the time, yet you still remember it years later? Maybe it was a parent who whispered, "I'm proud of you." Maybe it was a partner who told you, "You're my safe place." Or maybe it was a friend who looked you in the eyes and said, "I'd be lost without you." Those words might not have been rehearsed. They weren't wrapped in flowery language. But they carried more meaning than any long speech ever could. That's the same feeling Johnny Depp's words gave to the world. Now, it matters even more when you remember who those words came from. Johnny Depp has lived a life unlike most of us. He's been under the spotlight for decades. He's been celebrated as one of the most iconic actors of his generation. He's played roles that made people laugh, cry, and dream. But his life hasn't only been about success. It's also been about heartbreak, about mistakes, about the heavy weight of public judgment. And when someone who's been through all of that chooses to express love with a line so stripped down, it feels different. It doesn't feel like a celebrity moment. It feels like a human moment. It feels raw and real. The truth is, all of us secretly long for that. We long for words that are unpolished but true. Because deep down, it's not perfection we crave. It's sincerity. We don't want someone to sound like they've memorized a script. We want them to speak from the heart. And that's exactly what those 5 words did. They were so simple that they couldn't possibly be fake. They didn't sound like a performance. They sounded like truth. Let's pause here for a second and ask ourselves, why do we remember simple words more than complex ones? Why does "I love you" feel stronger than a 1,000-line poem? Maybe it's because simplicity leaves no room for doubt. There's nothing to hide behind. When you strip words down to their essence, all that's left is pure emotion. And that's what sticks to us. That's what shapes us. When Johnny said, "You fill me with happiness," he wasn't just talking to one person. He was also reminding all of us that love doesn't have to be complicated. That happiness can live in the smallest expressions. Think about the moments in your own relationships. The times someone has made you laugh in the middle of an argument. The times you've looked across a crowded room and felt comfort just because they were there. Love hides in those ordinary moments. And when you put it into words, it doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to be honest. And yet, so many people believe that romance is about extravagance. They think you have to buy expensive gifts, plan dramatic surprises, or make the kind of gestures you see in movies. But if you've ever truly been in love, you know that's not what lasts. Grand gestures fade. Flowers wilt. Surprises end. What stays are the small truths. The hand you reach for when you're nervous. The way someone smiles when you walk into the room. The late night, "Are you okay?" text when you don't even realize you need it. That's what real romance looks like. And Johnny's words prove it. But here's something important to notice. It wasn't just what he said. It was how personal it was. He didn't say, "Life makes me happy." He didn't say, "Things fill me with happiness." He said, "You." That single word turned the phrase into something unforgettable. Because when someone speaks directly to you, everything changes. Suddenly it's not just about love in general. It's about you being the reason for someone's joy. And that is one of the most powerful feelings a human being can ever experience. Now let's think about timing. Experts in love and relationships often say timing is everything. The right words spoken at the right moment can change the entire direction of a relationship. Imagine being told, "I'm proud of you," right after you've poured your energy into something difficult. Imagine hearing, "I believe in you," just when you're doubting yourself. Or picture someone whispering, "You make me happy," on an ordinary day, when you're not expecting anything special. That's when those words become life-changing. That's when they're tattooed into your memory. This is why it's worth remembering that we don't have to wait for perfect moments to express love. In fact, it's often the unexpected, everyday moments that matter most. A simple phrase dropped into an ordinary day can become someone's anchor. And maybe that's exactly why Johnny's words felt so meaningful. They weren't wrapped up in a big production. They weren't part of a script. They were just pure, unplanned honesty. And here's another truth about love: it's not only in the words we say, but in the actions that surround them. Words and actions together create lasting memories. If you tell someone, "You make me happy," but never show up for them, those words will eventually fade. But if you say it and then prove it, by being there, by listening, by standing by them when it's hard, then those words become timeless. They carry weight that can last for a lifetime. This is what makes Johnny's phrase so powerful. It wasn't just about saying it. It was about all the years of passion, struggle, pain, and resilience behind it. Coming from a man who has lived through so much, the words carried the weight of experience. They weren't just a romantic line. They were a confession of gratitude. A moment of vulnerability. A recognition of joy. And isn't that what we all crave? To be the source of someone's joy. To know that out of all the noise in the world, out of all the chaos in someone's life, you're the reason they smile. It doesn't matter if you're famous or unknown, rich or poor, young or old, that desire is the same. We all want to matter. We all want to know that our presence brings light into someone else's darkness. So let's sit with this idea for a moment. When was the last time you told someone they made you happy? When was the last time you gave them that gift? Because words like that are more than just words. They're reminders. They're affirmations. They're lifelines. Sometimes people carry those phrases with them for years. They return to them when they feel lonely. They replay them when they need hope. Johnny's words remind us that it doesn't take much to give someone that gift. You don't need the perfect timing, or the perfect place, or the perfect mood. You just need honesty. Because at the end of the day, love isn't about perfection. It's about truth. It's about connection. It's about the moments that make us feel alive. And maybe that's why those 5 words have echoed in so many hearts. They reveal something we already know deep down, that the most powerful parts of love are the simplest. That true romance isn't about fireworks or headlines. It's about the quiet honesty that makes us feel seen. So imagine this. Imagine looking at someone you love and just telling them, "You fill me with happiness." Picture the way their eyes might soften. Picture the way their shoulders might relax. Picture the smile that spreads across their face. That's not just romance. That's connection. That's humanity at its purest. And maybe that's the challenge Johnny's words leave us with. To stop waiting for the perfect moment. To stop searching for complicated ways to express ourselves. To just be real. To say the words we feel, even if they sound simple. Because simple often means pure. Pure often means unforgettable. And unforgettable is what we're all chasing when it comes to love. So take a moment right now. Think about the people who matter to you. Think about the ones who make your life brighter. Have you told them lately? Have you given them those 5 words? Because if not, today might be the perfect time. You don't need to be Johnny Depp. You don't need a stage or a script. You just need your voice and your honesty. Because those 5 words, "You fill me with happiness," could change everything for someone you love.